You guys cannot see the new color that I put in my hair, but I did put a new color in my hair. It's just not perceptible. I have to do it again. But the problem is, to do it again, I have to wait an entire month. So this is just part one. You can't see anything at all unless you're like in the sun, and then you could see it a little bit more. Um, but just know I'm working on it. It's coming. It just hasn't happened yet. But guys, I'm so excited for another episode. It's the Memorial Day weekend. You guys are gonna hear this on Memorial Day. Shit. Happy Memorial Day. Um, I'm trying to get everything done so that I can celebrate this Memorial Day with you guys and not have to work. What? Gabby is taking a day off? I'm trying though. I really am trying. I promise. I'm also having this big debate right now because I feel like my hair is getting really long. And it's like crazy looking at it's not even been a year, but looking at how long it's gotten is like insane to me. And I'm so happy for it. But I do think I want to go a little shorter for the summer and then let it grow out in the winter. You know what I mean? I don't know yet. But then I'm debating about whether I want to see like if it just gets a little bit longer. I kind of really want that like right here length. I don't know. I don't know what to do. You guys are gonna have to help me out. Maybe we'll make this a poll. We'll make this a poll in my story, and then you guys can let me know what you think. Do you think that this should be the new me? Or do you think I should just keep my hair kind of the way that it's been for a while? And can you hear me? Always have to check that. I keep forgetting to check the whole can you hear me thing because that's a real thing now. Because my mic just loves to just fuck up. So, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. I'm trying to get rid of all of these things so that this will operate smoothly. All right, well, whether or not we're operating smoothly, we are operating. So, let us get into the episode. All right, well, oh my gosh, I just did so bad. Great, I love it. My screen is stuck. I don't even know what it's doing. Hello, screen. Who are you focused on? Not me. There's no more video playing. It's technical difficulties, guys. Let's see. Will it put me back? When your whole life just stops working and then everything just shuts down. Yeah, that was sure.
I'm dead.
Hey, Unbothered fam, and welcome back to another episode of basically Unbothered Recaps. First of all, can I get a shout out to you guys? You guys have been making recaps go like social media. People are liking the captions, people are liking the videos. Um, Recaps is actually like doing better numbers than regular old Unbothered is. And I'm doing better numbers than I've been in the last couple of months. So shout out. Thank you guys so much. Like I always tell you guys, you don't know it's so surreal to me sometimes. Like this is happening and this is real. And like I legitimately cannot believe it. And I'm so immensely appreciative of all of you and everything that you guys do to get this podcast going and all the support. We got good things. We got good things coming. I have good things coming. Um, let's recap the writers retreat. I said I would give you guys that. The last day of the writers retreat, I ended up leaving right at lunch. So I am a petty person sometimes. That's why Unbothered has like pettier facts. I'm a petty person sometimes. I acknowledge it. One of the ways to get me to be like really petty or like, I guess maybe not petty, but like boundary focused is to play with my food. Like that's one thing I don't play about is I don't play about my food. It's the thing that goes in my body that gives me sustenance. If you fuck up my food and I have like, if you fuck up my food and I'm at a restaurant, okay, we can make changes. I'm cool. Unless I'm like starving, then I'm pissed. But if you fuck up my food and it's like to go and I either have to drive back to you or just accept. I'm like lividly angry. I don't think that there are very few things in this world that will make me as angry as you fucking up my food. it's it's not the best about me. But anyways, if you saw my post on TikTok talking about how I spent $1,600 to be eating Cheetos, that's 100% true. So at the writer's retreat, we spent $1,600 to go to this. And I'm not going to say that there weren't parts of it that I really did enjoy because that's not truthful. I really did enjoy parts of it. And I think that it was mostly, other than the fact that it felt like a scam, it being that much of a cost, it just really felt like, and this is coming from me having crunched numbers to launch my own group like this. This is coming from me doing that. The pricing was a scam. The pricing was a scam. There was no way that $1,600 got us that. And I'm looking at something that would cost half of that and be all inclusive. And you would have a place to stay. That's just my feelings about it. Um, that's neither here nor there. But which it should have been marketed as a writer's workshop retreat or, a weekend workshop. Honestly, a weekend workshop is the best way that it should have been marketed because the retreat feels like, oh, we're going to have a place to stay. And where they wanted us to stay was the Godfrey, and the Godfrey is fucking expensive. Don't know if you know, the Godfrey is fucking expensive. And so they wanted us to stay at the Godfrey. It was like $300 a night. No one's staying there for the most part unless they flew in. And we spent the first part of the day, which we had to be up so fucking early. Let me tell you how on a retreat, let me say this closer. On a retreat, there is nothing in my body that I'm supposed to be relaxing that wants to be up at 8:30, let alone be needing up at 8:30 on the weekend. I don't even wake up that early for work. So, but the first part we did like workshops. We were working, the whole theme of it was identity, which really didn't hit, honestly, but the whole theme was identity. And we were working on writing around identity. And it was beneficial to me because I got to do writing prompts and I got to read them in front of people and really get into my like creative short writing and not the long flow writing that I'm normally doing. And it awoke in that part of me. And I was like, okay, I love this. But the problem was that there was never actually a downtime for real. And there was never really a time for us to work on our own work. I think the most that we got to work on our own work was 30 minutes, which is literally nothing, nothing at all. In fact, I did not get to finish a single full chapter. Like, let alone get somewhere significant in my book. I didn't get to finish a single full chapter. And that was frustrating. Like that had me like livid. But the second half of the day, which would have made sense if we're doing a workshop for the first half, having the second half of the day be where we're writing and when we're really getting to like connect with our own writing, things like that, and use the things that we used in the beginning of the day. At the second half of the day, we spent touring places that we can go to for free. Not making this up. Our first place that we went to was Mexican Town. And it felt like the most exploitive tourist, like this doesn't even fucking make sense kind of vibe being there because we were exploring identity. And I guess we were supposed to be exploring like the Mexican American identity, but we went to Mexican Town. And no offense, but the person who was doing the tour of murals in Mexican Town was Puerto Rican. And some of y'all be like, oh, you're being nitpicky. No, the fuck I'm not. No, the fuck. Mexican culture and Puerto Rican culture are completely different. Completely different. This is coming from someone who is part Puerto Rican. Completely motherfucking different. So that was frustrating. And then the places that we went to were like really touristy spots and not even getting to really go and support a small local business ran by Mexicans, which is really weird to me. And we ended up at like this Mexican import store. And it just felt like, those stores that you go to when you're like flying somewhere and there's these tourist store and has all the like touristy kind of things that tourists would want to bring back with them to remember. It was like that for Mexican Town though. Like To be clear, and then what really frustrated me is I spoke how I felt about it. And I was like, oh, this feels really, it gives me the heebie-jeebies, feels really weird. We're walking through people's homes like it's nothing. Like we're not walking through a specific area like in St. Thomas, there's a tourist area. No, we're walking through people's homes and people's businesses and people's streets where they have their family and their friends and they throw parties. Like it's just some big show. And it was just so weird and like not, and a lot of people didn't get it, but there was this one girl whom I loved and we both bonded because she is half Dominican and I am also part Santo Domingan. And you guys are gonna be like, oh my gosh, how many things you have me? A lot. If I acknowledge it, I don't know what you want from me. Tell my parents' parents to stop recreating whatever or procreating with everybody. Just don't know what to tell you. Okay. Um, but we both kind of felt really hinky about it. And then the second day, and then after that, we were supposed to go to happy hour. Now, I want to be clear. They had a form about dietary restrictions. When I filled out my form, I filled out that I was gluten-free. I wanted that to be clear. The options that they gave me, people think gluten-free is so hard. It's not. Rice is gluten-free, potato is gluten-free, meat is gluten-free, cheese is gluten-free. A lot of dairy is gluten-free. There's like options. It's not just like lettuce. And so the first day, my gluten-free option was yogurt for breakfast. And I'm like, you got me up at 8:00 in the morning. The best that you should do is give me potatoes and some like what? Bagels and then for gluten free yogurt. So because I have a gluten intolerance and I'm not like celiac, I could take the bread off the bagels and just kind of eat that, which did not give me anything. Hash browns. You could have gave me hash browns. Anyways, so then that day we go to this bakery and they're like, this is our happy hour. I just explained to you guys that that I'm part Santo Domingan, part Puerto Rican, and my family is born and raised in St. Thomas. Like, to be fucking clear, when I hear the words happy hour, I hear we're drinking profusely until happy hour ends. In St. Thomas, there's this restaurant called Greenhouse, and during happy hour, it's buy one, get one free drinks, but you have to get them both at the same time. Cool, great challenge. You down the first one and enjoy the second one. Just saying. The bakery was our happy hour, and I'm just like, oh, okay. I can't eat anything. And then this like tells you the importance. Okay, so to be clear, this is ran by a white Jewish woman and another white woman. To be clear, this is why, again, diversity is needed in the room because they go, oh, so I tell them, and then me and this other girl, the only two Black girls in this entire thing that's called the Detroit Writers Room, wild take. We're both gluten-free. And so they go, oh, well, you could have this meringue, or no, I don't even know what it was. It was like this sugar skull and it had eggs in it. And I butchered the name. Someone told it to me and I fucking butchered it up. But like, it's not consumable. It literally says on the thing, not for consumption. Okay. So I don't get it at happy hour. Cool. Whatever. I went to my job. My hour was happy then. I didn't work, but they were having like a panda party. So my hour was happy then. The next day, we do the writing thing again, and we go off to the second half of the day. My lunch was Bucharest, sandwiches and hummus with bread and a little side salads. What the fuck am I You mean to tell me that y'all don't even understand that Bucharest themselves, y'all couldn't even buy the Bucharest platter where we could just make our own sandwiches so that I could have just got chicken or whatever and hummus and been a content little girl? Because I eat I eat Bucharest. I love Bucharest. My mom eats the chicken and hummus all the time. I love hummus. I literally eat cucumbers and hummus forever in a day. Get real. Okay, so then I was like, I'm so hungry. Try to eat a little bit of the bread. My stomach instantly is like, no. I'm like, okay, well, we failed. But I tried. I rip apart my sandwich and just start eating the chicken out of it. Okay, cool. We go to Easter Market, and this was time where we're just going to explore Easter Market, and we could, if we wanted to, do this writer scavenger hunt where we find all these things and then we wrote them down. Easter Market is free. So the 2 events that we've done this weekend so far were free events. Okay, alright. So anyways, I enjoyed Easter Market. I hadn't been in a really long time. It gives me really bad anxiety, but going then, it felt good. I felt great. I was like, "Ooh, Easter Market." I got myself a cute little hat, the hat I wore in the last episode. Um, I got myself some tea. I'm drinking it right now, and I got myself this awesome body spray. I'm actually wearing it right now too, so look at me. Um, but that was it. I mean, I enjoyed the people that I was hanging around. They were awesome, but that was it. So the 3rd day, do some writing prompts, and then we had a conversation that, I'm really, really strong on. I'm not really strong on a lot of things when it comes to writing, like, do whatever the fuck you want. Writing in another ethnicity now, that doesn't mean, like, you won't have characters in another ethnicity, but writing in the voice of using the voice of another ethnicity as a narrator, I'm, completely against. And how this came up was that there was this, someone had seen this mural when we were in Eastern Market. Eastern Market had some beautiful, really provocative murals that I really enjoyed kinda getting to be around, and, I was so excited. She said that the mirror that she found was of a Black mother and a Black daughter, and she sent the image of us, and she was profoundly moved by it, and she said that she wrote it, and she wrote it in the she's white. She wrote it in the voice of the Black woman. She immediately was like, "I don't feel comfortable." And I wanted to applaud this woman for, like, not going, "Oh, well, it's okay," you know? She's like, "I don't feel comfortable," you know? And then the leader of the retreat goes, "Well, I think it's okay." And I'm like, No, actually, it's not okay." Because the bigger issue is that when you do something like that, you are actually taking away Black voices. Even though you think in your mind you are highlighting Black voices, this is like what is a culture appropriation 101, right? Stop trying to take Black voices or take Black stories and use them as your own and just start highlighting Black storytellers. And that goes the same with Asian storytellers. That goes the same with, you know, stop and there are ways to meet like fantasy is a little bit different. It's a little bit different. But especially when we're talking about contemporary works of art, absolutely not. Like there are so many Black authors, Black creatives, Black writers who don't get their voices heard because of this, but then there's stories that get put out about Black people that aren't written by Black people. And then people are like, well, look, you got this show, this thing. And you're like, that's not even my culture. So anyways, but the conversation kept going around that. And it was kind of frustrating because the leader of the group was the Jewish woman. And I was like, I would never write a story in a Jewish perspective. I'm not Jewish. I have no matter how much research that I could do or not do, I don't have the nuances of living a life as a Jewish person to write it. So that's my soapbox. Anyways, we finally got time to write. That felt good. And then we get to lunch. Lunch is Olga's. $1,600, guys. Lunch is Olga's. I used to work at Olga's, okay? I order my salad. Pretty sure I said no onions, but I can't remember. It comes, um, no chicken. Everybody else's food is correct. Mine is the only food that is incorrect. I don't know why the universe does this to me. They try. They be trying me. So I go, hey, excuse me, so sorry, but I actually don't have chicken on my salad. Olga's salads are subpar at best. I was like, I don't have chicken on my salad. Like, I need this. And they go, oh, really? Did you say no chicken? No, because then I wouldn't have been asking about the chicken. Okay. So, all right, cool. And then she looks at her, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to give you guys the correct answer first. The correct answer is A, let me call Olga's right now and see if they can get something here and get it fixed for you. B, hey, how about wherever we go next, we'll get you a lunch that you can eat. What I got was, oh, there's hard boiled eggs that we had from yesterday. You can add that to your salad if you want protein. I wanted chicken. That's why I ordered the salad. so that I could have chicken, and you didn't, and in fact, give me okay. That was the moment I started packing up my stuff and I left. 'Cause I'm not paying $1,600 to be ignored, to be exploited, to not write my book, and to not be having a good time. And I didn't pay all that money to be eating at Olga's in Bucharest, and worse off, eating at Olga's in Bucharest and not getting to eat or not getting my food made correctly. So I left. Funny part of the story, this is a long story. Funny part of the story is that I expressed my opinion, and I'm not gonna read it, but I expressed my opinions in a group chat because they said that we would have a time where we could, say how we felt about it. I expressed my opinions in a group chat. I got the company line of, "Oh, well, we're so sorry you felt that way. We feel like it's best if we talk about this in private." Let me tell you, the many ways that we should talk about this in private is the most infuriating words that you can say to me after I told you how I felt. Because what that's doing is insinuating that I am the only person that has this issue and I am the trouble child. And we need to discuss this in private because I'm the issue. Cool. Great. Love it. Um, I said that is fair because it is. But I do think that some of these things should be addressed in a group because they affect us as a group as a whole. Later, I found out I got kicked out the group. I guess accountability is dead. Um, but yeah, I left. I had a panic attack. I broke down. I felt so bad because my parents put up this money for me to go there because they believed in my career. And it was horrible. I spent the next 2 days in bed. Well, I spent the next day in bed. I had to go podcast. I don't want to oversaturate, but I wanted to spend the next 2 days in bed. And I'm still recovering. That was a lot. That was hard. That was not something that was easy to deal with. And I'm upset about it. But that was my writer's retreat. So yay for me. All right. Also, I got a new journal. She's so cute. And I got new pens. And then we're cute. Quick pause, because if you love dark stories that don't flinch, Olympic War isn't a soft love story. It's violent, it's chosen, and it costs everything. Through war, betrayal, and survival, Moonstone fights for devotion that refuses to die. This is a Black, multicultural dystopian series about power, sacrifice, and what rises from the ashes. Olympic War and Phoenix War. Read them wherever books are sold. All right, our first topics. So the first thing is that, guys, I told you, I did. I told you guys that Manon dropped the album. And that was because the information that I got, or dropped the song, that was because the information that I got said that Manon dropped the song. Apparently it was AI. I want to see if it's still up. From what I heard, it was AI. And I was just like, I have in fact been duped. How did I get duped? It's gone now. Someone made an AI version of the song and then uploaded it to the streaming platform. So it wasn't really her. But guess what? We still have no resolution with Cat's Eye. And I am not the only one that's upset. I literally read an article about how terrible, how terrible this the way that Geffen and Hive is handling this, and it was so funny to me. I will put it in the show notes for this episode so you guys can read it too. But it was just like, this is the worst way that you can handle this. And I'm like, fucking agreed. Like, you mean to tell me there wasn't a single better way for you to announce yourself going on a tour? You announce another group. You're doing all of this simply because you won't tell us what's going on with Manon? Y'all are silly. Like, again, accountability is dead in 2026, apparently. I'm not supporting it. I know some diehard Cat's Eye fans are going to. And I love Cat's Eye. I thought they were a cool, fun group. Um, I thought the concept was pushing limits. A couple people tried to do it without having, the K-pop background and everything. I just don't think that I'm not in this great old age of 34 years old, I am not going to be supporting people who don't support Black people for no reason. Because you haven't given us a reason. And it doesn't seem like there is a reason because all of these contracts have clauses and things. So there's not a reason. You can't kick her out of the contract. So basically what you're doing is you're just keeping her out of the group. And then Cat's keeps saying, we're only gonna do this with 6. We're only gonna do this with 6. Yet your concert is only gonna be 5. So how are we doing with this 6? I'm confused. All right. Let's go to the next topic about Huda. Huda dropped a song. We're gonna look at it. Um, I'm not feeling. I haven't watched the full video yet, so we're gonna watch the full video together. But I can't show you all the parts. So the song is called "Bad Girls." So we're gonna listen, and then I'll let you know how we feel. Okay, I'm feeling it a little bit. I just wish you could see her eyes more. That's like my biggest thing. Like I want to see her eyes more. Okay. All right, guys. All right. I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. I think it's cute. It's not anything serious. I got so much fuzz all over me. It's not anything serious, and I don't think that it needs to be anything serious. I think it's meant to be like cute and fun. And honestly, I really love that for her. The looks are giving. I could give like I have background in music video stuff critiques. There are like some times where her face wasn't as giving as what she thought it was. But overall the music video is cute. I could see girls blasting that down, writing it's like a good get ready song. Like I would get ready to go out if I went out. I could get ready to go out with that song. But let's see. I heard some people are really loving it and I heard some people aren't. So let's get in some of the comments. We're on YouTube. Highly gagging about how she's been working for so long and nothing has leaked. Shout out to her team for keeping things all right, airtight. That's rare in this industry. OMG for this being her first song. It literally sounds amazing. Y'all are making fun of this, but she looks like she's enjoying herself so much. They wanted her to lose, but she stayed winning. I mean, like, it's not going to win her a Grammy, but it's a fun song. I've heard so many influencers come out with way worse. And so many influencers that some of y'all get to Coachella that's come out with way worse. Not going to drop any names, but I mean, it was chill. It was fun. I like it. I might actually low key put it on my music, give my girl Huda, a good thing. I was trying to find some negative ones, but I really couldn't. But from what I've seen, she's debuted specifically in like Middle East and African places. She's debuted pretty high. America, I think she was at like 175, which I mean, she made a chart. She made a chart, so that's good. We're so happy for Huda. You didn't really get to hear her like vocal chops, but at the hook of it, you did, and that was what I really enjoyed. Like, show off that voice, Huda. Let us hear the voice. Let us hear the giving's giving. Like that's the giving's giving. That's what I really want. So I'm excited for it. Our last topic before we get into our main topic today, which is going to be I watched a movie. Our main topic isn't that I watched a movie. Main topic is that movie. The name of it is Untouchable. We got notes. But first, we're gonna get into the last thing, which is Drake has an album that just came out. Oh, that's a lie. First thing is Drake has an album that's come out, and then we have to give our Ariana updates. Always forget about our Ariana updates. But Drake does have an album that just came out. And by a album, I mean 3 albums. Have I listened to it? No. I miss Take Care Drake so much. I miss Nothing Ever Was the Same Drake so much. Even Views. I have not really been able to like live in this existence where he lives now, and music evolves and it changes, and that's him. That's not where I am. I need you guys to tell me if I should listen to this album of Drake. Like I need you guys to let me know if this new album of Drake deserves a listen. But the best part again is that it's not an album, it's 3 albums. Now there's supposed to be like 1 album that's actually the album and then 2 albums that are just bullshit music. And basically this is because he had 3 more albums left in his contract. He wanted out of his contract, so he made 3 albums. Boss bitch shit. What? Yes. For whatever he is doing, for what sign, yes. Go off, Drake. Like he said, okay, you want 3 albums? 3 albums. There you go. And I mean, like, obviously they could have pushed back a little bit of it, but I think that everybody is just kind of like, all right, he don't want to be here. Let him go. This one of my coworkers was like, "This is the best free agency that we've ever seen in our life." He was like, "Name another free agency that you've seen better than this." None. None. Where's Drake? Like that needs to be the new watch. Where's Drake gonna land? Is he going to be an independent art? If Drake baby boy become an independent artist, like, and I imagine that there's, with the Kendrick Lamar beef, which was clearly manufactured at first, guys. I just need you to know it was a manufactured beef because right around that time, people weren't talking about rap enough, and rap knows that the way to get people interested in rap again is to create beef. That's why women and men were beefing at the same time. It turned into a real beef, clearly. And I want to say that Drake won, but he didn't. But I don't like the way that Kendrick won. I don't like the song that Kendrick made to Drake's son. I think that was tactless, personally. I think that I don't, I always talk about I leave kids out of it, like, and I don't mean like little digs at your kids or whatever, but making an entire song talking about how your kid is there's like certain things that, sadly we hold people to a different standard, and Kendrick is one of them. And him breaking that standard was just like, I was not okay with it, but whatever. I don't know if I'm gonna listen to the new Drake album. I don't really have that much time. I listened to it's not new, but I've listened to a new artist that I found. Her name is Janine Burden. She's a Filipino alternative singer, songwriter. Fell in love immediately, was like, add entire album to the thing. But I am excited to kind of see the discourse that comes around. I'm really not on that side of TikTok, so I'm gonna have to rely on my friends for it. But I'm excited for the discourse. I'm excited for the conversations that we're going to be having around Drake's new album. And do we think that I just also, I don't like, I don't like the drama. I just want to like, I don't want to compare out Drake's album to, is he recovering? Is this a recovery from the beef? Is he trying to get back? Is it like, that man just makes music. Can we just make music? Can we just make music? I don't know, but we will see. Lastly, our baby girl Ariana Grande. I'll give you. Our baby girl Ariana Grande just announced that the first single in her new album will be dropping on May 29th. That means that when you guys hear this, it will be May 24th, May 25th, May 25th, and 4 days away. I'm so excited. We do have a name for this song, so hold on. Let me go into my gram. Like the Ariana Grande doesn't immediately come up is a problem. Okay. The song is Hate That I Made You Love Me, May 29th. So we're all on watch. When's May 29th, guys? We need to know. It's going to be like a day I don't record. It's going to be on Friday, and I'm recording on Thursdays. I wish I could give you guys more, but we'll have to wait 2 weeks for my opinion of it. I'm so sorry. I love you guys. But we are excited. I am excited, and I'm ready. The world feels better with Ariana Grande. There's only one person who could announce a new album that would feel like this to me, and it is Janae Aiko. Yeah, we've been thirsty for that one, so I'm hoping to get that one soon. But that's all our pop culture shit. Let's get into us talking about this movie. Looking for your next favorite author, your next obsession, or just a room full of people who get it? Then you need to be at the Pages Against the Patriarchy event on June 27th. This is a virtual event featuring 20 incredible authors coming together for a day of books, conversation, community, and stories that challenge the world around us. Whether you love romance, fantasy, sci-fi, indie gems, or books that leave you staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., there's going to be something for you. Come hang out with the passionate readers, discover new authors, and celebrate storytelling that takes up space unapologetically. Again, that's Pages Against the Patriarchy, happening virtually on June 27th, featuring 20 authors. For more information, head to pagesagainstthepatriarchy.com. Bring your TBR list. It's about to get reckless. That's not the name of the movie. It's not the name of the movie either. Unforgettable. There we go. So TikTok gets me every fucking time. Okay. I love watching clips of movies and TV shows on TikTok. It gets me every single time. I just be scrolling, scrolling, then it'd be a clip and I'm like, hmm. That's how it got me to watch this movie, Unforgettable. Let me tell you, first of all, Rosario Dawson is always it's always a pleasure to watch. I haven't seen a lot of stuff with her. I need to see like Osaka and other things. I haven't. Rosario Dawson's always a pleasure to watch. I've been watching her since Josie and the Pussycats. Great movie. Camp movie. Cult classic. Need to watch it again. Um, but I just kept seeing clips of this and I really wanted to dive more into it. So I'm gonna give you guys the synopsis of this movie. There we go. All right. Unforgettable stars Rosario Dawson as Julia Banks, a woman trying to rebuild her life after escaping an abusive relationship. She becomes engaged to David, a recently divorced man with a young daughter, and hopes for a peaceful, fresh start. But David's ex-wife, Tessa, played by Katherine Hagel, is deeply obsessed with her former life and cannot accept Julia's place in it. What begins as a tense co-parenting slowly mutates into psychological warfare, manipulation, stalking, gaslighting, and increasingly dangerous schemes designed to destroy Julia's relationship and sanity. As Tessa's behavior spirals, Julia realizes she is trapped in a carefully orchestrated nightmare where every move she makes is being twisted against her. The film turns into a high-stakes domestic thriller filled with paranoia, revenge, and that woman is absolutely one iced latte away from arson energy. Um, okay. First of all, my rating, I don't know. A 6 or 7. It wasn't terrible to watch. Like, I didn't end it. It was interesting. My biggest issues are with Katherine Heigl. Um, her acting could have been better. And she did the part she does the part of prim and proper really, really well. The issue is that she didn't really portray psychotic to me enough. And I think maybe that's a hard thing to portray. And maybe they were going for like a subtle kind of thing. But some of the notes just didn't hit right. And that followed all the way to the end, even though her behavior was clearly psychotic. I, mm, People ask me, would you ever date a man who was married and has a kid? No, I wouldn't. Because of this movie right here. Because the character, she's like so obsessed with her ex-husband and how she's not getting to be with him anymore and all of these are going on and it becomes like she has this and they try to do a good job of showing Tessa's character and how she has this overbearing mom and she was just trying to do all these things and it created like a lapse in her psyche. That part of the movie just didn't connect. That's the biggest issue. The part that's supposed to be twisty and eerie and creepy just doesn't connect with the audience. The other part, the second part that Rosario Dawson plays, that connects well with the audience. She's this woman who's rebuilding her life off after these incidents and she's having trauma and she doesn't want her significant other who's her fiance now to know and she's navigating moving into a new town and having to be a stepmom and all of these new territories. That tracks. I wish that we got more of Katherine Heigl. I'm never going to say this right, guys. I'm so sorry. I wish that we got more of her so that it could make more sense because a lot of it just didn't make a lot of sense. And that's where it fell flat. And then on top of that, the twist, guys, I tell you all the time, this is why I don't read Frida McFadden. I don't like her twist. Her twists are stupid and like the same thing with this. This was, oh, she like burned her family and she tried to burn the family home and they said that she was psychotic and she had to be like held in a facility and her mom wouldn't do it. It was like it should have given like a what the fuck kind of vibe. And it just doesn't. It was just so like I wanted it to give more. Like, I really wanted to be afraid of this woman who has clearly just like lost it. Because she steals rings, she steals phones, she hacks into her social media, she finds that she has a restraining order, she contacts the guy who she used to have the restraining order, who he got out of jail and restraining order was up, and she fakes an Instagram and she creates this relationship, and you're like, all these have all the things to be like really cool, but they don't. And then there's like this masturbation scene, and it's just uncomfortable. It's not, it's so uncomfortable, guys. I skipped through it. I was like, I can't. This is weird. This is this is so weird. I just, guys, I really wanted this to be better. But it lacked a good surprise. It lacked, when you have like this horror thriller, it's supposed to have like this eerie thing. And I love a psychological thriller. And it's supposed to have like this eerie feeling to it. And it just had nothing but you just staring at the screen like, yo, this woman is crazy. And then going, yo, this woman is crazy. And then going, what the fuck? This woman is legit certifiable crazy. But it never gave the like a creepy vibe. Even in the end where like they're fighting. So what ends up happening is they're going on living her life. Katherine Heigl's character, Tessa, is trying to like sabotage Rosario Dawson's character, which is Julia. And she starts like making things disappear and creating instances where Rosario Dawson looks bad. One time they're out with her daughter, the daughter between David, which is Rosario Dawson's character's fiance, and Katherine Heigl's ex-husband, their daughter, um, Lily. And they're going out, and Lily is starting to really bond with Julia, which is Rosario Dawson. And Tessa don't like it. At first, Tessa showed up at the house like, this is my daughter. I know how to get her to bed. She got rashes. I had to come. Your fiance, she doesn't know how to cook. Okay. That part happened. Then Julia, Rosario Dawson's character, started picking it up. And then Lily started liking her. And Tessa couldn't have that. So then one day they're out and about. This is going to be stuck in. Oh, okay. It's also kind of perfect because Rosario Dawson is in that song. Will you light my candle? If I had a voice. And that's where the thing comes from Rent. But she's hanging out with the girl, and then there's an instance and the little girl was running missing, and then Katherine Heigl lies and says she found her talking to a man that said they know Julia, and creating all of these scenarios is just like really, really weird. And then there's this point where Julia can't be around the daughter anymore alone because Tessa's making it be like a whole big thing. Like, she's so bad and she doesn't know how to take a child and whatever. And so she's picking her up only because her fiance David isn't around. He's like working because he owns a brewery. She's picking her up from riding lessons because she went from a pony to horse, and she was really nervous. And then Julia, Rosario Dawson's character, is like, we can go. This is your dad's day. We're going. We're leaving. And that didn't sit well. And so they left. But then what ended up happening is that Katherine Heigl's character, Tessa, just kept fussing about how Julia, which is highly unbelievable, kept sending her with her hair in knots. And so she said, you know what we're going to have to do? And then she cuts the kid's hair and dyes her blonde hair brown. And Julia, rightfully so, was like, okay, this is psychotic. Like, this is gone beyond you trying to hurt me. This is now you trying to hurt your own daughter to hurt me. This is crazy. It all accumulates to like the moment where Julia and her friend find out all these crazy things about Katherine Heigl, this is why the build up to the twist matters the most, because it has to make sense. When you have a twist in a story, it has to make sense how we got here. It can't just be like something that's pulled out of thin air. It's something that you can look back into and you could be like, "Oh, I can see how this happened. Oh, she had this behavior. Oh, her mom hinted to this." Things like that. Those things are important. Little breadcrumbs leading up to the twist. There's supposed to be like 2 big twists, but we can already there isn't really because we already know the big, big twist, but it's you have to build that up. This is why I say I cannot write a murder mystery or thriller. I am not a build it up kind of person. I'm actually working on a book right now that had a twist, and trying to figure out the best way to drop breadcrumbs without like giving it away, but also like making you look back on it and you could be like, oh, that made perfect sense. And so there were no breadcrumbs. When it dropped, you're just like, this doesn't connect. This doesn't feel real. There's no real sense of like, oh, I could look back. They're just kind of like, this is crazy. I want to be clear. I mean, yes, in psychopathy, sometimes there are often times where you're like, no, but oftentimes you can look back in a moment and be like, oh, I can absolutely completely see how we got from point A to point B and how do we fix this? Like normally can see something. And that's why it's so important to study the psychology of these things because you have to know that you can't just make a person crazy. Like that doesn't happen. There's usually, as much as they try to hide it, there's usually like things that they're trying to do in the background and you have to like hint to that in the story. That did not happen here. And so when it dropped, I was just confused, like, oh, this is, and it didn't even feel like they did a bad job of making it also feel like it was like life threatening and crazy. You know, maybe the score could have been different. Maybe the setting could have been different. Maybe the reaction could have been different. I don't know. Maybe the way that she found out could have been different. Je ne sais. Then she finds out, and then her friend is like, we need to get you the fuck out of here. And she's like, no, I need to tell David. I finally have it. Girl, if you don't get your fine ass out of there and you call that man when you're safe, like you need to look into your ex-wife type shit. There's no way. But anyways, so she stays, and then all of a sudden, her ex-boyfriend, who she had this restraining order for domestic violence, comes into the house and he finds her and he legitimately thinks that he's rekindling this relationship. And she's like, I have no idea what you mean. And he's like, don't play with me. You're doing all this. And she's like, I have not messaged you. I don't want it. And it sends that man into a spiral. Then he starts attacking her. And I'm not going to get into that part. And then she defends herself and she finally gets free. She ends up like stabbing him in the leg. Finally gets free. Katherine Heigl comes behind her, finds him, and was like, you played this terribly. You played this terribly. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so she kills him. And then when Rosario Dawson sends them to her house to get him because he attacked him, they find him dead. So how the movie opens is that from the synopsis, how the movie opens is that you find out that she had this Facebook and she was doing all these things and they Captain Heigl's character even like tried to pawn rings and watches and everything and try to make like Julia was in it for the money. Or it was fucking like that part was like, okay, that was kind of smart. I give it to her. That one, cool. But then, David goes to meet with Julia and he's like, I'm gonna get you out of there. The detective tells him and he's like, just go home with your family. And I was so mad. Like, I know that had to happen, but I was so pissed at that detective because everything was just too hurt. Let me like are y'all that's the part that frustrated me. Like I wanted the acting to be better. Like I wanted the detective to be skeptical of her, but a little curious of why this was all directing. This all goes into directing. Directing is such an important job. I wanted him to be skeptical of her, but all kind of like, why is this all coming out in a perfect line? And she's saying that she didn't do this, but it's all right. Like, it's a little too perfect. Anyways, he tells her fiance David, and I'm just like, dude, let a girl catch a break. Like, when you told her that he was dead, she was shocked. Shocked. And then here's another terrible writing piece. They're just like, we have all this information about you talking to him. You came in and you told us that he attacked you and you hurt him, but we don't have enough to hold you for murder. There's no way. they have more than enough to hold you. So we have to let you go. They don't even have to let you go for 48 hours, 72 hours, one of those. I've been watching a lot of Criminal Minds. So what the fuck you mean? Just like a little common sense. And this could go so far. They let her go. David's going to see his daughter, like the detective said. And then he stops at the house, he sees his daughter, and he starts putting two and together. He's like, it was you all the time. It was Agatha all the time. And Tessa knocks him over the head and attacks him. And then she's like, shh, okay. And if it was done in a more unhinged way, it would be perfect and creepy, but it just was not. Okay. Julia gets into the scene. She's like, what the fuck is going on? She finds David. David comes into consciousness because that man's bleeding out his head. He comes into consciousness. She's like, go get the daughter. She gets the daughter, gets her out the house. Oh, great. Love this. Right? Comes back in the house, try to get David, and then Tess appears. And then a girl fight ensues. And these girls are fighting. Except for the part where they like put down the things and they're like scrapping. It was more comical than anything else. I mean, it was that was probably the most unhinged part of the movie. And then, there's this part where Tessa has Julia down and she's like, I rule you, whatever. And she's like, you know what? No, I used to settle for this and this is my life again. And I'm like, corny domestic violence line here. Okay. I mean, I love it. I understand it. I understand the sentiment. It just felt like a corny line placement. And then she starts attacking her and then she kind of like subdues her. She runs to David to go get her. Obviously, that's dumb. Tessa comes out. She has a knife. She's swiping. And then all of a sudden, Leah's like, look at yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. This isn't you. Do you see what you have done? Do you see what you have become? Because she looks at herself in the mirror. She goes, like she's having a split. Makes no sense. That should have been built up in the beginning. Makes no sense. All of a sudden, she talks Tessa off this ledge and she steals the knife from her. And then she holds the knife out. Like, it's clear she's no longer a threat. You have the knife. She holds the knife out and she's like, don't you come near me. At any point in time, now that she has the knife, she can move. She can escape that situation. She has the power and control now. You have the weapon. She just stands there as Tessa slowly brings herself to it. And she's like, stay away from me. And then Tessa Savaku's herself and grabs the back of Julia's neck and just drags her body into the knife. And you're just like, what? This makes there's no character development in Tessa. It makes no sense at all. And especially because it's supposed to be a psychological thriller, like it's supposed to make a little bit of sense. It makes no sense at all. I'm just sitting there baffled, like baffled is a new word. I'm just sitting there baffled, like, what the fuck is happening? That was hilarious. And so then at the end, Tessa's dying, and she's like, don't let my daughter see me this way. Don't let her know that I am a monster. Okay. All right. And then the movie ends and they're all happy as a family together and they move into a new place and they're back in San Francisco again. And Julia just gotten married and her best friend's coming over the day after the wedding and we're all excited and the doorbell rings and all the tense music is coming up. Like they're trying too hard. They're trying too hard, but they're trying to get a sequel. And so this all happens and Tessa's mother is there and she's like, hi, sweetheart. I knew I would find me. I'm your grandmother. I'm stuck with you for life. You're just like, and then it cuts. And I don't know if they're trying to get a sequel, but clearly the first one didn't do that well. Its ratings aren't that good. On IMDb, it has 5.2. On Rotten Tomatoes, 29%. On Movie Insiders, 3.6 out of 5. 56% of the people like this movie. Now I find the synopsis, of course. It came out April 21st, 2017. Ooh, it was a time. Ooh, it was a time, but that's it. The movie was interesting. I wouldn't regret it. I rented it. I'm kind of mad I spent $4 on it, but that's $4, whatever. I wouldn't regret it at all, but I would not watch it again. Actually, I might watch it again just because it's silly. It's like a silly thriller that you wanna watch. I actually really, really wanna watch the Scream, like, saga. I'm so terrified. I'm so terrified because I don't like horror movies at all. I am a big scaredy cat, but I've really, really been considering it. So you guys have to let me know. Should we watch Scream together? Let me know. We'll see. But outside of that, I think that we are getting ready to finish up for the day. Thank you guys so much for listening and being a part of Basically Unbothered and everything that we do and everything that we are. I really appreciate it. I'm recording a little bit now in the end so that people can see that I podcast. But it's been great. I have no idea what's coming next. I can't tell you. And I'm kind of enjoying not being able to tell you. I think planning this out was ruining the fun of just watching movies and TV shows together. And now I just really get to enjoy it again. So I'm loving that. But don't forget to tell everybody about your new favorite podcast and review, like, share. I need reviews, guys. Hit some stars. Okay. I'd appreciate it. Other than that, thank you so much. And I will see you next time. Bye.
Gabby Gabs Podcast.